Okay, my friends, I am curious. I am curious. I have a question. Do you believe that we are souls that are embodied? Like souls, what does that mean? Like souls that are embodied here for this lifetime. Meaning, are we souls having human experiences? Or do you believe like the opposite of that? Nah, we're humans having some soul experiences. So to be soul embodied really does mean that we chose this body, we chose this lifetime, we chose this body, this embodiment, this experience on a soul level. We came here to experience certain things. So I'm curious, what do you believe? What do you believe? So, respond to me on Instagram or Facebook or email me or text me. I really want to know. I am so curious as to what everyone thinks, and maybe it's just not something that's even crossed your mind. Like I know I certainly didn't grow up wondering this, or it definitely wasn't our family discussion around the dinner table. It just wasn't, right? And I know me personally, like say 20 years ago, if somebody had asked me this question, I would have just looked at them like funny. I just would have looked at them totally confused. Like, what? Like I wouldn't have known how to even answer that question, this question 20 years ago myself. I wouldn't have had an answer. Yet here I am at 55 years old, believing it. So not even posing the question out into the rest of the world or to you, but I'm believing it 100%. And in this truth for me, myself, I find unbelievable peace. I find peace in this human experience. I find peace in my heart. I find peace in believing that I'm a soul here just having this human experience. So I'm just curious in what you all believe. I don't need to change your mind. Whatever you believe is exactly what you get to believe. I don't need you to believe what I believe. Okay. If it's different than me, awesome. If it's the same as me, awesome. If it's just not a question that's ever crossed your mind, awesome. Okay. So I don't have any desire to judge your answers or believe it. However, you know what? Judgment is a part of the human experience. We're all going to judge each other in what we believe. Okay. So but that's the human experience. Do we get that? Okay. So I just want to know um, what you believe because it's part of my way of moving through the human experience of judgment on acceptance, right? That's why I'm curious. Because when I'm curious, when I can be curious about what you believe instead of, you know, I want to know what you believe so I can change your mind and get you to believe what I believe, right? That's more of a human experience. But on a soul level, it's like I want to move through my own little judgments of what you're believing, right? That's how I get to know myself and this human experience. That's how I move into acceptance. I want to be able to accept you and everything that you believe on on a soul level. Okay? There's something else I'm really curious about too. And that's something that again, another question. What does bring you peace? Like what brings you peace in your life? Or what belief? What is something that you believe in that brings you peace? Okay? So let me know. I really want to know. So if we move into what our intention is for this week, because that's why I do these tap-ins, is so that we can set some intentions for ourselves for the week. So this week it is about be curious. Be curious. Take that question that I posed. Do you believe that we're souls and bodies? Do you believe that We're souls here having a human experience. And be curious about what you believe, but also be curious about what others believe. And then, because the human experience is to judge, be curious of that judgment. Be curious about yourself. Can you have this belief and let others also believe something different? Right? We're going to judge it. Of course, we're going to judge it. That's a human experience. But can you be curious about your judgments around it? And then be curious whether you can accept others. Can you accept someone else if they're on a different path than you or they have different beliefs? Right? Or how about accepting other people for their choices? Because, we make choices based on our own beliefs. Okay? So be judgmental. Be curious about your judgments. Be curious about whether you can accept others. And yeah, the general public might be easier to accept, but what about those people who are really close in your life? Can you accept them? Can you notice and be curious of your own judgments? And then the last thing for this intentional week is, can you find peace? Can you just be curious and go inward and go, I'm curious. What beliefs do I have that help me to feel peaceful? Right? What belief helps you feel peaceful within you? Because ultimately, those are the beliefs that we need to stand in and let everybody else believe and stand in their beliefs. Okay? So that's what our intention is. And now let's move the body and tap it in. Okay? So let's start just by let's shake things up. Shake it up. Start to bounce and shake. Move, right? Just bounce, bounce, bounce. Wake up the body. Wake up the body. Wake up the mind. Wake up the heart. Ask that question. What do I believe? Just kind of shake things up. Do I believe I'm a soul having a human experience, or do I think we're mostly humans? Just some people have soul experiences. I don't know if you have or if I have. What do I believe? Like I grew up? I don't know. I have no idea. 20 years ago, I would not have known how to answer that question. Totally confused. I would have been. Arch things out. And pick up the opposite leg. Just touch in. Oh, this just gets our energy going. What do you believe about even this tap in? Are you judging it? Are you be curious? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why is she doing that? Be curious of your judgments. It's part of the human experience. Can you accept that this is what I believe is one of the best things we can do for our body every single morning? Right? I'm tapping into the belly in the back. It's what I believe, but be curious. Go all the way down on one leg, all the way up. Tap in. What does that feel like in your body? Can you just be curious on what it actually feels like? Tap into behind. Good. And in front. Let's rub those hands together. Create energy and heat. And then shake it out. And then just tap in under the eyes. Take a nice deep breath and be curious. Open up your mind. What do you believe? And you know what? Even if this question is like, maybe it's irrelevant to you, how about still believe in this? Go, what do I believe? Right? If something is going on in your life, what are your beliefs around that? And then judge it. Go into judgment. Notice your judgments. Tap in. This brings us right here into this now moment. What am I judging? I'm curious. How am I judging myself or somebody else for what they believe? And then let's tap into the collarbone area. This gets all of our energy moving in the right direction. And even as I say that, you're going, what do you believe on that? Do you believe that that could be? What are some judgments that come up for you? Just be curious. I want everyone to be curious this week. Be curious about your own beliefs, about that question, about other people's beliefs. Be curious of your judgments. Yeah, let's tap in here in the thymus. This conjures up gratitude. What will we be grateful for? Maybe this great gratitude for the opportunity to be really curious, to be curious about this question, to be curious about our own judgments, to be curious about acceptance. Like, is it really like, is it like kind of mind blowing how sometimes we just, or when we're curious, we realize I can't accept other people if they don't believe what I believe. Or maybe you're curious, I can accept other people even though they don't believe what I believe. Just really tune in, be curious. And then tap underneath. This is our spleen points. This helps to metabolize everything in our mind and in our body and in our curiosity. And the last thing I want you to do is find some peace. Be curious. What brings you peace? What beliefs do you think or thoughts that you think bring you peace? Be curious. Good. Shake that out and just cross that energy over. Okay, my friends. So, really, what the intention is this week is be curious. I posed a question. Let yourself think about that or any other question you want. Let yourself judge it. Find some acceptance in that for yourself and others. And then be curious. What beliefs do you think or thoughts that you think that bring peacefulness within you? Can you stand in those beliefs? Be curious. Namaste. Have a fabulous week.